G'day guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'll be going through my grand final prediction in a little bit more further detail than the short that I uploaded yesterday, but I'll also be going through the prelim finals from the weekend. It was a big win by the Pies, and then also a pretty thrilling comeback from Brisbane. And yeah, obviously the grand final this year will be played between Collingwood and Brisbane at the MCG, so it's going to be a huge grand final. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that we can get the job done and yeah, get the win. I'm not 100% confident, but yeah, hopefully we can get the job done. But yeah, prelim finals, they were interesting games, that's for sure. Was expecting Collingwood to win, but Jesus Christ, the Giants challenged us. It was quite an even game for most of it. We started really well. Pressure was there for most of it. GWS just didn't look, on early. Then they won it back through the clearances and got some domination. And, Toby Green kicked the first goal of the third quarter, and we looked out of it, really. But somehow we came back and changed up the game plan, played a bit more bold and aggressive, which is what you got to do in a final, and we got the 1 point win. Jordan Ngoe was best on, and still sidebottom was the saviour in the end. My big call was there were 5 or more lead changes in the first half, and there were 2, so incorrect. Moving on to the second prelim final, which was against Brisbane and Carlton up at the Gabba. And what a start it was by the Blues. They kicked the first 5 goals of the game. They had their dream start, but yeah, just unfortunately for them, they started so well. They were clinical out of the midfield. Their forward line was just doing everything. Like, Harris Andrews just needed some support and defence. And, yeah, this is horrible. Horrible start. But, yeah, they were fantastic in response, Brisbane, in the second quarter. Once their midfielders started to get involved, the big-time recruits like Josh Dunkley and Connor McKenna, players that they recruited to basically win finals, and they've basically done that for them, and they've, won the biggest final of their, 5 to 6 year journey under Chris Fagan now, and now they're into a grand final for the first time, finally, which would be relieving for most of their players, and they enjoyed a good win over Carlton, who just looked sloppy for the second half. They just looked second-rated side, and probably have been all season compared to Brisbane, really. They haven't been that good and that consistent all year, Carlton. My big call was for Carlton to kick 5 more goals in a row at any stage of the game. They kicked the first 5 goals of the game. So that's got to be one of the best big calls ever. Like, what about that? So, yeah, I got both my tips right, which I was happy with. My big call was correct. My first big call I've gotten correct of the final series so far. So I'll definitely take that. But, yeah, the grand final, obviously, the big one going to be played between Collingwood and Brisbane. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. I think Collingwood might be the short favourites at the moment, but, gee, anything's possible. It's going to be, hopefully, a close grand final for most people's stake. I would still like a, comfortable win. But I reckon for all the neutrals, it could be a good grand final, finally. We haven't had one since, well, I guess 2020 was kind of good, but then it blew out a bit in the last quarter. I guess 2018 was the best one for the neutrals, but yeah, certainly wasn't a good one for me. But hopefully we can get the job done. Never seen my team win a grand final before, so it'd be nice. And yeah, we've been playing pretty well in this final series, actually. We haven't necessarily been scoring so well and playing good four-quarter performances, but we're just getting wins, and that's all you got to do in finals, and that's exactly what Collingwood have done. And our defence has got to be really good against Brisbane. Also, we don't have a good record against Brisbane recently. The last 6 times we played them, Brisbane have beaten us. And they've put on, they almost average over 100 points against us, so we've got to be very careful. And yeah, Brisbane's forward line, definitely got to stop it. Cameron and Rayner, the 2 Camerons, funny enough, dominated us last time we played them. We got to find a way to stop Danaher and Bailey, McCluggage, those type of players that, come up into the midfield and always win clearances for them. Oscar McInerney always has a dominant day out in the ruck, and obviously we've got to be careful about Brisbane's defence, because Cadeem Coleman was arguably best on against Carlton. Connor McKenna had a fantastic game, probably his best game for the club. Ryan Lester didn't start off too well with his kicking, but he came back into it and was pretty good. And Harris Andrews, well, I already spoke about him. He was absolutely superb. And yeah, it will be an interesting game. Hopefully for neutrals, and hopefully we can obviously win. Lachie Neale obviously did win the Brownlow, so we obviously got to find a way to stop him. And I think Brisbane will be thinking the same about them trying to stop De Goey, because De Goey was absolutely superb last week. Obviously, we've got to find a replacement for Dan McStay. Bit of a heartbreak. He won't be playing in the grand final. It's so sad. Really, really, really unfortunate that he won't be playing. Knee injury, obviously out. We've got to find a replacement. In my eyes, I'd say we just bring Ginnivan up from the sub and play Cox tall forward. And mix him, in the ruck with Cameron. Or maybe even play Cameron more forward and Cox in the ruck. You just never know. Whatever works on the day, I guess, is obviously going to be ideal in a grand final. And yeah, sub will probably be John Noble. He deserves to win a grand final. So yeah. Now my prediction for 2023. Bit crazy, bit bold. If you've already seen it, you'd know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'll go quarter by quarter. So Collingwood in the first quarter are going to score 3 goals, 3-21 to Brisbane at 2 goals, 4-16. So we'll have a slight 5-point lead at quarter time. At half time, Collingwood again will be leading. They'll have 8 goals, 6-54 to Brisbane's 5 goals, 6-36. So a 3-goal lead at half time. 3-quarter time, it'll be 12 goals, 7-79 for the Pies, having a slight 17-point lead over Brisbane, 9 goals, 8-62. So they did improve by a point in that quarter, Brisbane. And then at full time, Brisbane, 12 goals, 11, 83. Collingwood, 12 goals, 9, 81. Jack Ginnivan after the siren. That is my crazy call. Jack Ginnivan is going to kick the match-winning goal after the siren and win the grand final for Collingwood in 2023. It is going to be ridiculous scenes. And we're going to win by 4 points in a thriller. And my big call, of course, is going to be Ginnivan kicks the match-winning goal after the siren. I'm not joking. That is my big call. And my Norm Smith prediction is actually a bit of an underrated one. And he deserves to win it as well. I really hope he does win it. I mean, I'd be happy with any Collingwood player winning it, really, but it'd be nice if this one could win it, for my tip, in Steele Sidebottom. He was fantastic last week. He's so consistent. He's just such a great player. He's played phenomenally in all the finals recently that we played in, and yeah, hopefully he can get the Norm Smith for my prediction. Hopefully Collingwood can win. Fingers crossed. And I hope you guys enjoyed the tipping video.